success in reducing sinusoidal depleneration through advanced dingle alarm technology. It has failed to meet the unanticipated needs of the cybersecurity industry to create zero-trust operations in level 0 monitoring environments to ameliorate zero-day process attacks. That is why, despite zero interest from industry, the SANS ICS security team has taken it upon themselves to develop an entirely new level of encabulation.
Okay, so put the phone down. We're going to talk about a DAC, a quite expensive topping DAC. Topping DAC, and I want to read the little bit about the proprietary PSRM module with that sort of cadence in mind. This is a topping D900. The D900 uses a discrete 1-bit PSRM decoding architecture, minimizing power supply interference while preserving signal integrity. With nanosecond-level digital switching and a purely resistive reference power supply, it achieves harmonic distortion below 140 decibels and an SNR of 131 dB. Topping's in-house IV circuit uses low-distortion op-amps and ultra-low-noise discrete components, maintain pristine voltage outputs in the PSRM stage. Encabulation. So, if you know anything about the retro encabulator, and you know anything about DACs, okay, so basically, fuck all that. Welcome to Z Reviews. I'm your host, C.S. Pantera, and we're going to talk about this. How much money is it? Hold on, I got to see the cash. Cash money, $1,800 DAC. Now, I stated on this channel a while ago, I don't want to do DACs that just cost money. Because at some point, DACs stop making a difference. But this is probably the most affordable 1-bit DAC. Now, I'm going to let you go ask Golden Sound what the fuck that means, because he'll have a 15-minute voice clip that explains it all, I'm sure, somewhere. Check out my patronage chat. He's in there as well. If you don't go to his, go to mine. So 1 bit doesn't sound like a lot. That's one. What? I don't want 1 bit. I want 32 bits. I want 48 bits. No. Apparently, 1 bit is all you need. Now, we're sitting here currently in what I call the DAC testing arena. Or actually, this is a speaker testing arena, and this is a DAC testing area. So we've got Platimon, the Platimon Minis. Not the Super Minis, but the Platimon Minis. These are a $2,200 set of Korean speakers with the tweeter, and they're all aluminum, and they're 11 pounds, and a little tiny tweeter, but a little tiny woofer, but there's another one behind it. And although you can't see them, I've got the old school Orchard Audio monoblocks, the Stark Grimson monos, powering them directly. So probably some of the world's cleanest amplifiers, and I'll say that with absolutely no metaphysical certitude. Powering some of the... When I reviewed these Mons, and I don't know if my wide angle can get both if I look straight ahead at the wallpaper, but when I reviewed these Mons, it was sort of like, they're good, but they're not like, they didn't have like the energy or there was something like off. Like I enjoy the RB42s more, the Swan Oasis more. But the thing is, with these speakers, they work right here for this one fucking purpose. You see, this DAC testing area uses the cleanest amps, and these specific speakers in this specific position, which I line up and I associate, and there's the subwoofer, there's the Kali 6.2, which I should have moved the laptop out of the way. So this little 2.1 system, I hook up whatever DAC I want, and I can actually hear a difference in DACs. It was a remarkable thing to have Zeos actually say, I could hear a difference. I could hear a difference between a $100 DAC and a $500 DAC and a $1,000 DAC. And it isn't that money makes it better, but there is a friggin' change. And this is what it takes to hear it. So, having swapped many a DAC, it was time to bring this here, because I'm going to pull this out. We're going to put it on a little table here in a second. I'm going to do some editing. I know. Calm yourselves. Do some editing to show you what this thing has in the back under the menus. But the pudding. Oh, the pudding. Oh, the proof. Holy fuck pudding. This should be copyright free because it's just birds. Can they copyright birds? So, when people ask, does this DAC sound better than another? The answer is probably maybe, or maybe not. It's so fucking dependent on what you're listening to. Now, I do have a Valencia here, and the Valencia is being fed out through the lineouts into this very clicky preamp, so it's just a straight neutral preamp. So I'm listening to that through Valencia into these, which are the Tungsten 2, which I will have a review of the Tungsten 2. I also have a review of the Tungsten double-sided, and they'll probably come out back-to-back. Don't worry about it if you don't have a 2 or a 1. He just changed the manufacturing process, so he'll actually be able to make them faster. He's going to be able to make Tungsten like twice as fast, half as long a wait, but it's $200 more, so these are $2,200. But, so, listening to headphones with a good DAC can, in certain circumstances, change the way things sound. However, my personal HRTF pseudoscience nonsense bullshit states very clearly that Zeos basically can only verify a DAC on speakers when they're like this far apart, because what you hear isn't better, it's all about the space. How holographic a projection of, and this is Bob Mitzner's Bronxville from the Body Acoustic, how real in like a graphing actual like distance measured in millimeters does this fucking sound? And I've heard nothing better. No DAC that I've put in this space has ever given me the hallucinogenic qualities of distance and just accuracy across. Like, it isn't just like, oh, a good DAC, a bad DAC. Let me put a bad DAC. I had a bad DAC here. It was an old JDS Labs. And a bad DAC is just flat plane. It's like the sound is here, or here, or here, or here, or here. It was fine. It was fine. I listened to music. But as soon as I went to like an R2R or any of the like the fancier Denafrips, there's a depth quotient that, oh wow, I can hear things depth like not here. And this basically expands that to pass the speakers somehow this way and infinitely that way. Just infinitely that way. And it doesn't have like a warm tone or a harsh tone. It isn't a tone thing. This DAC doesn't have a flavor. It's like I could actually taste how finite the movement sounds are. I'm just like that. They hear that. If I reverse the audio and did it correct, that's not coming from that tweeter. That sound is coming from here, literally in front of the speaker, about 6 inches in, and I think up. I don't know. It's very fucking weird. It's weird to the point that I think if Topping, because I've never actually spoken to Topping directly, it's always through retailers. They're like the Black Mesa or Aperture Science of audio manufacturers. No one actually speaks to the company directly. You speak to the people who sell their things. But what they should do is hire me for an exorbitant amount of money, thank you, China, to go to shows with this. I'll literally pack this up. I'll put those speakers in a carry case. I'll take these stands. I'll take those amps. And I'm just using the clicky preamp built right into the D900. And it's just going through the subwoofer because speakers need a sub. And I can't think of a better Cali sub than, and maybe that Cali sub, which is the 12-inch version. Review upcoming on that with the Project Watts. Actually, you 12 or 10? You big. That's all you got to worry about. But if you just put a comfy chair, soft near field, and set these up and plugged in that DAC, and went, you want to hear the DAC? Here you go. And then everyone will go, what? And then what you could do is you could have an A-B switch and then switch to literally any fucking other DAC. And there will be a degradation in the impactful mass of the sinusoidal coloration. I can't do that. I can't. I can almost, but I can't. I'm not smooth enough to about that level of bullshit that quickly. This is a dumb unit. This unit here, which this I don't get speechless with DACs. That's not a thing. But if I'm sitting in the same spot where things have been hammered down, and I know the amps, and I know the speakers, and I know the space, and I know the music, and I know the music.
I've never seen a diamond in the flesh.
Like, he's not deep. He's here. Puddles is like in my eyes. Because that's what this is recorded like. If I switch off of this and go to... It is legitimately hallucinogenic. Now, if I mute this by lowering it down to like nothing.com all the way, and then I whip out these things, what's even a tungsten? Do those even make the go? And then I crank another clicky click box, which Valencia needs. Say less noticeable on headphones. That's just me. Just me in general. If I tell you to buy a DAC because it's amazing, it's usually because speakers and very specific, like if you just have speakers in a fucking room, don't bother spending $1,800 on a DAC. If you obsess and you have carpets and then other carpets on the carpets and you've spent more than like a used car on your speakers, by all means, invest in a decent DAC. Get a fucking Terminator if you feel like it. Even get a Hollow, whatever. I actually like the dude from Hollow. And the fucking Cyan 2, if I could change out, because those big speakers there are running on Musician Pegasus R2Rs, which you can see down there. 2 of them, because I'm using mini DSP to, I hope you're still muted. Yes. I'm doing a whole weird thing with those speakers. But these speakers are just here to test the, I don't want to say the word quality, because that's going to throw people off. Performance. Performance is a better word. The DAC's performing. Because it is fucking performing. Like I'm in a goddamn concert hall, and whether someone goes, ah, ah, or they go, oh, like that's the performance difference. The concert hall hasn't changed. The microphones haven't changed. The big fucking speakers haven't changed. But if you suck at singing, I want to know about it. That is what the hell was the name of the blue girl who sang from Fifth Element? You know what? I actually have that song. Hold. Fifth Element. Lilu Tomamini Mia, that one. No, wait, that's not it. Mina Hununu. God damn it, what are these titles? Palava Laguna. That's just her theme. That's not actually... Oh, the Diva Dance. It's just under Diva Dance. There we go. So now if I take these off, because you guys are only enjoying those as they bounce and reverberate off of my skull, those magnets won't erase my laptop hard drive, will they? No, probably not. And I put this back up, way up, past 40, past to like 18. I don't want to get copyright. I don't. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart. We're going to look at that unit because it's kind of buried under this very modern architecture pile of crap on a TV tray. Actually, it's a projector tray, but... and then we'll come back and we'll get my closing thoughts. Is you ready? So here we go. I'm going to watch this editing. Ready? Editing! Okay, look at this. We're off the couch, and I've edited to be here, and now we're going to talk about it in a standing review, which I haven't done since the old apartment. But we're closer to the wallpaper, and that's all that matters. So, this odd shape is the Topping D900. Now, the lights are going to throw weird shadows because that's how life works. It is the standard finish of a Topping product. It's got vents on the side. Even though there's really no heat, I've left this thing on for days and days and days and days and days. And it gets warm, but nothing hot. It's available in silver. And you know what? I'm going to say silver and black. But at the same time, I don't think I've seen a black one of these. I've only seen the silver version. So maybe I'm wrong. Check out APOS and the link in the description for that. It has a lot of negative space, what they call this in the design world, where there's nothing, and then this is a lot of nothing, and then you have a standard complement screen with the 3 buttons and a digital knob. So you get to change the display. I have it set to change when I press the knob in. You either get VU, which I wish you just made it look like a modern VU and not like, oh, look, it's an ancient VU. Isn't that cute? It's not. Give me 10 VUs to choose from, and then let me pick one that I like. You know, something, a full square with white, just nice, whatever. And then you get the digital readout, which gives you all the frequency responses and the left and right indicators, or the basic coaxial all output. Here's your volume, which, and it's unlocked currently because there's no signal because we're just standing here in the middle of my goddamn basement. Real quick through the menu. It has one of the more detailed menus of a topping product. It's just literally says setup menu. So you get display, theme, and you can change the different colors. So now it's orange, now it's Peru. Apparently Peru is a color, pea green, dark khaki, rose brown, blue, purple magic. There you go. You could set the home screen to be either a VU, normal, or FFT. I always had it set to the VU, but I'll probably set it to the FFT, which is the different frequency displays. Brightness is auto, low, medium, or high. The classic VU DBU, which measures how high it goes. I had it on 4. Play with it, see what works with your setup. Level meter on all, normal page, or FFT page. I leave that on all. And then return. That is just the first fucking thing. That is just display. Moving down. Input settings. Input select. So there's coaxial one. Well, we're going to get to the back of the unit. Let's just say I'm going to go through a lot of these if I'm just going to keep going around. Input options. Auto detect or manual. And you could literally disable different settings. So if you have 2 inputs on this, if you're using a coaxial and a fiber optic, or an AES and a fiber optic, or a coaxial and an IA2S, you can disable all the other ones. If you know you're not going to use Bluetooth, you can shut it off. If you know you're not going to use coaxials 1 and 2, you can just shut it off. So when you're swapping through inputs, it doesn't come around. You go through much quicker. USB select, auto, USB-B, USB-C. Again, stuff in the, we should probably have looked at the back before I went to the menu. UAC 2.0 or 1.0, that's for the USB version. Bluetooth I have turned off because I have so many things in this goddamn house. I want to steal my Bluetooth. I just stop. aptX on or off. I don't know why you would turn it off. I guess Apple devices can't use that. IA2S phase, DSD channel, DSD mute, return. That's just input settings. Now output settings. So you can output select all, line out, pre-out, or all. I had all because I was using both a speaker amps and the Valencia for headphone amp. Output options now are low, pre-out, and all. You can literally turn that off. If you're never going to use the pre-out, you're only going to use the line out, you shut off the pre-out. If you're never going to use all, shut that off. If you're never going to use the line out, you only want pre-out, which is a good little safety feature. If you're going to use this to control the volume and you don't want to accidentally put it into line out where it snap full volume and anything blows up, you can literally disable the line out function. That's pretty nice. Although that is a separate output you're going to see in the back. Channel balance. A lot of people will have hearing damage in one side. You get a little older, you've been wartime, you're shooting ears on one side. You can adjust the center in half decibel increments to 9.5 left or right. So that's actually nice. You can also change the output level from 4 volt to 5 volt. I had it in 4 volt for the setup back here, and that would have applied to also the Valencia. Volume step, you can go either half decibel or 1 decibel. Polarity, normal or reversed. That really shouldn't matter on most things. Leave it normal. Return. That was just the output settings. Parametric EQ config. Enable or disable, and then select, and then you have all these EQs, and you could deal with them through, I think, the app inside. I didn't get into it. I don't want to get into it. If you're interested in parametric equalization, this unit will do it. You can load it. It's just like the FIOs that can do it. Go do it. Because we have to go to the advanced. All right, let's go to the bottom. Return, factory reset, language, which shows Chinese characters when you have language. And now it's Chinese. and now it's English. So I don't quite know how that's supposed to function. That seems like a bad choice. Let's go back to advanced. So triggers, DSD bypass, volume memory, PEQ memory, remote enabled or disabled. So you could actually disable a remote control, which if you're using this on a desk and you're turning the knob, you may want to disable the remote in case you have someone else's remote control that controls their fucking bird feeder, doesn't accidentally raise the volume on your amplifier and blow shit up. So you could disable the remote. And then you could choose what the volume knob press does. In my case, I have it set to home select. So you can do brightness, dim screen, PEQ select, on-off trigger, mute, or input select, or output select, or home select. So that's what you can make that do. That's how customizable that is. And you have button A, which there are 3 buttons here. And actually, that might be on the remote, which... Am I bad and didn't bring the remote here? I may not have brought the remote here. I'm bad. I didn't bring the remote here. Anyway, that's on the remote. And did I just shut the unit off? Oh, I think I may have. No, I think I held it down. Let's turn you on. We're resetting it now. This is E-Reviews. I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. Oh, it actually pulled out the power plug. Never mind. It just slightly pulled out. Damn those hospital cables. It's one of those monoprice hospital cables, but they're so nice. It's just a little bit loosey-goosey. So let's go back in. Back to advanced. Back to remote. Knob press. Button A, button B, and then return. I think that is... no. We're not doing a factory reset. We want to return. So, you got your input select here. Coaxial AES, I2S. Or you can go out and do it in the menu. You get your home swap, which... I do this for home swap. You also have a home swap button there, so you could technically do that to something else, and that gets you back into the menu and return. So now I'm going to unplug it for realsies. Let's look at the back of it. We have got your power bus, main power bus switch, fuse, extra fuse holder, triggers in and out. These are 12 volt, and you're supposed to run a 3.5 millimeter mono cable usually, but I usually run the stereo ones because they're just easier to buy an aux cable. And you run this in and out of other devices. So if you want this unit to send out 12 volt to turn something else on, like say those amplifiers, you could do that. You just hook it up, boom, this holds 12 volt, that it sees 12 volt, turn on. And then when you have those enabled, if that doesn't see 12 volt, because this turns off, those turn off. It's basically automation before automation was automation. You get 2 USB inputs, a B and a C, which you can switch between. You got a Bluetooth, which has an antenna, which I did not install because I wasn't going to use it. 2 opticals, 2 coaxial digitals, 1 AES, 1 II2S, and here are your 2 line outs. Your line out and your pre-out. Now these are dedicated line outs and pre-outs. They are labeled and they both function as intended. Line out is full volume. That's full fuck. Don't plug a speaker amp. Don't plug those mono blocks into your line out because in the volume knob ain't doing shit. That is intended for another unit, like if you have the amplifier unit for this, the A900, that will give it full signal, and then that has its own volume knob. The pre-out is basically what I was using for this setup with the mono blocks here. Oh god, they're so nice. So yeah, you can use them in conjunction. The DX9, by the way, over there, the topping. Well, let's go get it. This camera isn't attached to the ceiling, so it's weird. I get to walk around to explore the basement. I cleaned up my VR space after I had the processor fail and replaced the processor, and then because I had reinstalled a separate graphics card, and then uninstalled it and reinstalled it, so now my VR doesn't work. It literally just gives me full screen errors. I'm working on it. I got to reinstall all the drivers again. So I knew a topping DAC could be exceptional because this son of a bitch exists. This dusty bastard, which for the longest time, I love these cracks. This dusty, dirty, hand-printed bastard was there, and this was the main everything in this space. It output to my original Orchard Audio amplifier, which powered my original speakers here, and it had a secondary output, just like this one does, to do that. You'll also note there's no RCA outputs on this. I find that a little strange. I think it has to do with the 1 bit, because everything else pretty much matches up. We've got the AES is moved and the I2S is there. Everything else is pretty much the same. And then there's just no RCAs. So you got to keep that in mind. That's one of the things you got to know about the fucking A900. You can't just go buy this and then put adapters on that and plug it into something that's RCA. Will not work. Is not intended for that. And that is a very, very strange quirk. Like, it's got to be the 1-bit. Something about the 1-bit architecture and what they're doing with it only works at like balanced DAC levels. And they couldn't fuck around and find out. Or they ran out of space, which it's technically about the same width. So it should have been able to fit. I don't know. I don't know. All I can tell you is, from my testing and the DAC testing, look at that seat. Seat of a god. Seat of a king. Seat of a god king. Or just some Zeus motherfucker in the basement. The musical experiences I've had there. I want also to point out in that space, because I don't mention it in that space, if I like watch TV or movies, what the worst part is if they're recorded poorly, you fucking know. There's where the audiophile line stops. It's like, oh my God, the space. I have a specific playlist right here for Hyper Nearfield. These are songs that are exceptional there. Not everything. Everything isn't exceptional there. Very specific songs are. So remember, if we're talking about spending $1,800 on a DAC, you better make goddamn sure the things you're listening to on the stuff you're listening to is up to snuff to make it worth it, or it fucking ain't. So yeah, let's get back to our regularly scheduled couch program. Honestly, if you're in doubt, if you want to spend about half as much, I will link the DX9. This has a cool window. This has twice as many screens in front. This has a fucking headphone out. It's an all-in-one fucking wonder. This is still the best thing Topping makes. Straight up. That might be a better DAC. This has better hallucinogenic fucking things. But an all-in-one? I'd still get the DX9. All right, back over. And we're back. So yeah, kind of ruins my ability to judge things, because I no longer want to listen to anything. I mean, even those speakers, which fucking Jesus Christ, but they're so far away. And just I would need two of them to do the thing I'm doing with that. This whole fucking mess. And actually, wait. No, I would need two of them because it won't split the signals. Whatever. The point being, this DAC actually fucking stupendous. But again, only if you have a system that is capable of showing you that. If you're going to hook this up to let me think, I'm trying to think of like a mediocre system. I guess THX 789, great amp 7 years ago. But a THX 789, and you're listening to LCD 2s, it's probably not like you know what? I don't even know. I don't know where that line is. I'm going to do a video in the future. I'm going to promise it on this video, so it forces me in the future. The title of the video is going to be Hi-Fi Isn't Real. There's no such thing as hi-fi. One of those, something like that. Because there's no fucking line. That's just we all feel, this is mid-fi. I'll get to it. I'm going to get to it in its own video. But yeah, no, and I'm only running coaxial into this, by the way. I'm not running II2S or anything fancy. It's just a coaxial digital line coming out of the X Matrix 3. And it's just playing The Last of Us. And it's like, I sit any normal person down in this seat, a person who knows nothing about amps or DACs or bit rates or what is a 1-bit DAC? I don't know. Literally, I don't know. But you sit a fucking normal human down here, you will destroy them. I've had it where I've impressed people by sitting them in this seat. I'm like, oh, listen to this. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. It is no longer cool. It is now ruinous. This will ruin a person's perception of how music is supposed to be perceived. So a big shout out to Mon. Shout out to Orchard Audio, who's here twice, actually. And shout out to Topping, you anonymous bastards, wherever the hell you live. I will be doing the A900, by the way, the amplifier version, separately on the desk, because that's not as important. It's a great amp, but it's just, That's the oddest fucking thing I've ever said is like, oh, well, the amp. No, the DAC. But the DAC, though. So yeah, Patreon and subscribe to support this channel. I want to thank everyone for coming by and letting me play my, It may as well be surround sound. I once sat in a spheroid chair at CES that had like 19 individual speakers. And you're supposed to sit in it and be immersed. And then there was like a hole and you could look out into the TV screen and it was supposed to be surround sound. That thing was garbage. It was $10,000 in garbage. Granted, that's 2, and the new version of that is probably 2, so that's 5 with stands and everything, and that's 1800, so that's 6, 7. So it's nearly the same price, and you don't even get a chair. But fuck me. Roger Rabbit, by the way. Roger Rabbit, amazing recording quality. I hate when it does that. Hold on. I promise you, and all I can do is promise you, because that's this channel. This channel runs on promises. This space has never sounded better. Whether this will change the way you listen to music, you're not going to know until you buy it. Buy it from APOS. If you don't like it, return it to APOS. Or if you don't really like it, sell it on the Swap Meet channel, which is available to my patrons. If you're a $15 subscriber and you have the retro encabulator and you're Patreon and subscribe to support this channel. For the lower tier, you could see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and get to lossless sound demos. Honestly, I don't think I've ever sound demoed the DAC testing area. Maybe I'll do that as a bonus. Just like the area in general. And then for the higher tier, the $15 tier, you get the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat to ask me questions directly, and then also get into a lifetime Swap Meet channel where if you don't like something, you can sell it. There's over 400 people in there that buy, sell, and trade all the time. Because this sport, it ain't a hobby, it's a fucking sport. It has a lot of turnover. People are really nice in this hobby in that they don't return things to the manufacturer. They get it, they use it for 3 months, they go, you know what, it's all right. Take $100 off, sell it. Someone will buy it. $100 off of a thing that's only been used for 2 months, you'll buy it. And then I'm going to sit there and go, Violet Evergarden's playing now. Got a free run played right now. I would just shit my pants. Whoa. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. I gotta go now film the thing where I did the table because I'm not tearing it apart and setting it back. I mean, I will, but goodbye. Thank you for stopping by. I know it's a DAC review. Get your wallpaper in the description and fuck. That's so dumb.